Okay, pump the brakes. Ray J just got out of jail and immediately went live to tell everyone about the absolute nightmare he experienced behind bars, including a cellmate situation that is so disturbing, you're not going to believe it. We're talking about inappropriate behavior happening right under his bunk, while this guy was allegedly calling out his name. Yeah, it's that bad. Plus, we need to talk about how he even ended up in jail in the first place, because this whole situation with Princess Love has spiraled completely out of control. So buckle up, because this story has layers. What's happening right now is Ray J is dealing with a fallout from a domestic dispute that got so heated, it ended with him getting arrested for criminal threats. According to TMZ, he was taken into custody around 4 a.m. on Thursday after allegedly pulling out what looks like a handgun during a live stream argument with his ex-wife, Princess Love, loading it and making threats. He posted a $50,000 bond and walked out. But instead of laying low, he immediately jumped on the streaming platform Kick to tell his side of the story. And let me tell you, what he described about his time in jail is absolutely wild. We're going to break down everything that happened, from the arrest to the disturbing jail experience to Princess Love's explosive allegations and what this means for their already messy relationship. Make sure you subscribe to FAMELOOP Daily because this situation is still developing and you know there's going to be more drama coming. So let's start with what actually landed Ray J in jail. On Wednesday night, Ray J and Princess Love got into it during a live stream. Now, these two have a history of airing their dirty laundry publicly, but this time it crossed a serious line. According to reports, during the heated exchange, Ray J allegedly grabbed what appeared to be a handgun, loaded it on camera, and started making threats toward Princess Love. People watching the stream were obviously shocked and concerned, and it didn't take long for law enforcement to get involved. By 4 a.m. Thursday morning, Ray J was arrested and booked for making criminal threats, which is a serious charge. He was held on a $50,000 bond. Now here's the thing. This isn't the first time Ray J and Princess Love have had public blowouts. These two have been on and off for years, and their relationship drama has played out on social media and reality TV more times than we can count. They got married in August 2016 at the Cathedral of St. Vibiana in Los Angeles, where Brandy performed and Anthony Hamilton serenaded guests. They have 2 kids together, Melody, who's 7 years old, and Epic, who's 5, and they filed for divorce 4 times since 2020. The most recent filing was in February 2024. But this latest incident with the alleged weapon takes things to a whole new level of concerning. The fact that this latest incident happened during a live stream is also significant. We're seeing more and more celebrities broadcast their private disputes in real time, and it rarely ends well. In Ray J's case, having potentially thousands of people watching as he allegedly brandished a weapon and made threats meant there were instant witnesses and likely recordings that law enforcement could use. It also meant that public pressure mounted immediately. Comment below if you think celebrities need to stop live streaming their personal drama, because this is getting out of hand. Alright, so Ray J posts his $50,000 bond and gets released from jail Thursday. Most people in that situation would probably go home, keep their head down, and talk to their lawyer. But no, not Ray J. This man gets out and immediately goes live on Kick to talk about his experience. And what he described is genuinely disturbing. According to Ray J, he had a cellmate who was doing something extremely inappropriate under his bunk. We're talking about this guy allegedly pleasuring himself while Ray J was trying to exist in the same cell. And it gets worse. Ray J claims the guy was calling out his name while doing it. Let me paint the picture for you. Ray J is sitting there, probably already stressed about his arrest and the charges he's facing. And he's stuck in a cell with someone engaging in this kind of behavior. He said he almost confronted the guy physically, which, honestly, who could blame him in that situation? The whole thing sounds absolutely traumatic. Even the person sitting behind Ray J during the kickstream looked completely shocked and uncomfortable as he was recounting this story. Ray J's final message about the whole jail experience was simple. Never go to jail, y'all. I mean, hard to argue with that advice, especially after hearing what he went through. But let's talk about another wild part of this story, the Twitch ban. Before Ray J went live on Kick, he was apparently streaming on Twitch. According to him, Twitch hit him with a permanent ban for, quote, defending his kids. He made it very clear during his Kick stream that he doesn't work for anyone and seemed pretty fired up about the whole situation. Now, we don't have Twitch's official reason for the ban, but given that his arrest involved a live-streamed incident with alleged threats and a weapon, it's not exactly shocking that the platform would want to distance themselves. Twitch has strict community guidelines about violence and threats, so if Ray J was broadcasting content that violated those terms, a ban would make sense from their perspective. What's interesting is how quickly he pivoted to Kick. The fact that Ray J could get banned from Twitch and immediately set up shop on Kick shows how fragmented the streaming world has become. But it also raises questions about accountability. If someone is banned from one platform for concerning behavior, should other platforms be welcoming them with open arms? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Speaking of accountability, we need to talk about Princess Love's response to all of this. Because while Ray J was out here talking about his jail experience, Princess took to social media to share some absolutely explosive allegations. According to her posts, the last time Ray J had their kids by himself, she found him naked in bed with another woman. Let that sink in. She's claiming that while he had custody of their children, he was engaged in a situation that she found completely inappropriate and irresponsible. Princess didn't stop there either. She posted quotes about gaslighting on her Instagram story, which seems like a pretty clear message about how she views Ray J's behavior and the way he talks about their relationship publicly. Gaslighting is when someone manipulates you into questioning your own reality or makes you feel like you're crazy for having legitimate concerns. The fact that Princess is using that term suggests she feels like Ray J has been twisting situations and making her look like the unreasonable one when she has valid reasons to be upset. This accusation about finding him naked with another woman while he had the kids is particularly damning because it goes directly to the custody and co-parenting issues they're dealing with. If that allegation is true, it raises serious questions about his judgment and whether he's prioritizing his children's well-being during his parenting time. Princess has been pretty vocal over the years about feeling like Ray J doesn't take his parenting responsibilities seriously enough, and this would be a pretty significant example of that if it happened. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. This is a case study in what happens when celebrities overshare and broadcast their personal lives without boundaries. Ray J and Princess Love have been doing this for years, going back to their time on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, where they appeared together from 2014 to 2019. That show thrived on relationship drama, and they definitely provided plenty of it. But there's a difference between reality TV drama that's edited and produced and live streaming in real time where anything can happen. When you're going live, there's no producer to step in, no edit button, no cooling off period. Whatever you do or say is out there immediately for thousands or millions of people to see. In Ray J's case, his decision to argue with Princess Love on a live stream while allegedly displaying a weapon led directly to his arrest. If they'd been having that same argument in private, law enforcement might not have gotten involved at all, or at least not as quickly. But because it was broadcast, there were immediate witnesses, potential recordings, and public outcry. The livestream format took what might have been a private domestic dispute and turned it into a criminal matter, with evidence that's now, presumably, in the hands of prosecutors. And here's another layer to this. Ray J and Princess have two young kids, Melody, who's 7, and Epic, who's 5, who are going to grow up with all of this online. Every argument, every accusation, every messy moment is documented and searchable. We're already seeing the effects of this with kids of earlier reality TV stars who've talked about how traumatic it was to have their family dysfunction broadcast. These kids are going to be able to go online someday and watch their dad allegedly threatening their mom with a weapon, read their mom's allegations about their dad's infidelity and poor judgment, and see all the public commentary about their family falling apart. That's a heavy burden for any child to carry. Let me also connect this to the broader conversation about toxic relationships and cycles of dysfunction. Ray J and Princess Love have been breaking up and getting back together for almost a decade now. They filed for divorce 4 times since 2020, with Princess filing the latest petition in February 2024. This pattern is really common in relationships where there are underlying issues that never get properly addressed. They might take a break, miss each other, get back together thinking things will be different, but then fall back into the same destructive patterns. According to relationship experts, this kind of cycle often happens when people are trauma bonded rather than in a healthy partnership. The highs are really high and the lows are really low, which creates an addictive pattern that's hard to break. Add in kids, shared assets, public pressure, and the attention that comes from being celebrities, and it becomes even more complicated to actually make a clean break and move forward. What's particularly concerning about this latest incident is the escalation. Previous breakups involved accusations and social media posts, but now we're talking about alleged weapons and criminal charges. That's a significant escalation that suggests things are getting worse, not better. It's the kind of pattern that domestic violence advocates warn about, where conflicts become more intense and potentially dangerous over time if the underlying issues aren't addressed. Now, let's talk about what happens next legally. Ray J is facing a criminal threat charge, which in California can be prosecuted as either a misdemeanor or a felony, depending on the circumstances. This is what's called a wobbler offense. If prosecutors decide to go the felony route, he could be looking at up to 3 years in state prison if convicted. Even if it's charged as a misdemeanor, he could face up to 1 year in county jail. Of course, he also has the resources to hire top-tier attorneys who will work to get the charges reduced or dismissed, negotiate a plea deal, or fight it at trial if necessary. There will also likely be custody implications. If Princess Love's legal team brings up this arrest in custody proceedings, it could affect Ray J's custody arrangement with their kids. Courts take allegations of violence and threats very seriously when determining what's in the best interest of the children. Even if he doesn't end up convicted criminally, the allegation alone could be used in family court to argue for supervised visitation or other restrictions. Princess Love's allegation about finding him with another woman while he had the kids could also factor into custody decisions. Family courts want to see that parents are focused on their children during their parenting time and providing a stable, appropriate environment. If there's evidence that supports her claim, that could be a problem for him in custody negotiations. One thing that's interesting is how all of this plays out in the court of public opinion versus actual court. Ray J going on Kick to share his side of the story is a way of trying to control the narrative publicly, but anything he says could potentially be used against him legally. Defense attorneys usually advise their clients to stay quiet and let the legal process play out. But celebrities often can't resist the urge to defend themselves publicly, especially when they have platforms and audiences ready to listen. We should also talk about the business implications of all this. Ray J has various ventures and business deals, and getting arrested for criminal threats isn't exactly great for your brand, unless your brand is chaos, which, honestly, might be what he's going for at this point. Some brands and partners might distance themselves, while others might not care as long as he's generating attention and engagement. The streaming platforms clearly have different standards, with Twitch banning him and Kick welcoming him. The reality is that for some celebrities, controversy equals currency. As long as people are talking about you, watching your content, and engaging with your posts, there's a way to monetize that attention. Ray J seems to understand this and has built a career partially on being messy and unpredictable. But there's a line between entertaining drama and serious legal troubles that could have real consequences. What's still unknown is how the criminal case will play out, what will happen with custody, and whether these two will finally be able to break the cycle they've been stuck in for years. Will they actually stay separated this time and figure out how to co-parent peacefully? Or will we see another reconciliation followed by another explosive breakup? Based on their history of filing for divorce 4 times since 2020 and reconciling 3 of those times, it's hard to be optimistic. Here's what I think is the real issue underneath all of this drama. Both Ray J and Princess Love seem to be more focused on winning the public narrative than on actually resolving their problems privately and protecting their kids from the fallout. Every Instagram post, every live stream, every allegation just adds more fuel to the fire and creates more content for their kids to someday discover. At some point, they need to ask themselves whether being right in the eyes of the internet is worth the long-term damage to their family. The jail story Ray J shared is disturbing, and I don't doubt that it was a traumatic experience for him. But the reason he was in jail in the first place is because of choices he allegedly made during a live-streamed argument. Princess Love's allegations about finding him in bed with someone else while he had the kids, if true, point to serious judgment issues. They're both contributing to this mess in different ways, and until they both take real accountability and get actual help, this cycle is going to continue. What do you think about all of this? Do you believe Ray J's version of events, or are you siding with Princess Love? Should celebrities face consequences from streaming platforms for broadcasting this kind of content? And do you think they'll ever actually co-parent peacefully, or is this going to keep happening? Let me know in the comments below, because I want to hear your take on this situation. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for FAMELOOP Daily so you don't miss any updates on this story, because you know there's going to be more coming. Hit the like button if you appreciate us breaking down all these celebrity situations. And stay tuned because we've got more celebrity news coming your way.